This is Drop In, Drop Out, the weekly podcast where a mix of gamers come together to talk all about video games. It's 2026. It is the first day of the year, which means we are going to be unveiling our game of the year for 2025. Our first live show in a few weeks because of the holidays. It just so happened that all of the recording days kept landing on days that we couldn't really record. And so here we are. I'm your host, Patrick, dropping in this week. Jerica, aka Jerkachu. Jerica, how we doing?
Doing fantastic. I think my internet's fixed and hopefully my monitor stays on and I have my coffee and my water nearby. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love to hear it. The dumpster boy dropping in as well. Hope he's dropping into this lap right now. How we doing, Kamen?
Patrick, it's cold as piss here in Georgia. My nipples are raw.
Okay.
They've been so sharp, rubbing up against my overalls, and it has created a. I don't think I'm allowed to do that.
Piss, a famously warm substance.
Subathon.
We're starting the year 2026 with bleeding nips.
Yeah, there we go.
Right here, right now, Drop In, Drop Out the podcast.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. Also dropping in the homie Jake Twitch. And Jake, how we doing?
I'm doing good. I wish I was smuggling raisins like Kamen, but I'm feeling a little warm over here.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Well, if you need to take some clothes off, I consent. Also dropping in this week, Kayla. Kayla, how we doing?
Doing good. I don't know if I consent to that, but you know what?
Yeah, that's okay.
It's the season. I'm just kidding. Happy to be here. Happy to talk about our GOTYs. Played a lot more games this year than I did last year, so I have a lot more to say.
Okay. I do have the data in front of me, Kayla, and there's some interesting facts about your list that we'll talk about later.
Oh, God.
Also dropping in, rounding out the six of us, Jordan, a.k.a. Cognitive Collapse. Jordan, how we doing?
I'm leaning in close for some ASMR. There are some loud noises upstairs, so I turned the gain down. And I'm doing well, though. Glad to be here.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard the kids. A lot of
Exclamation
children.
kids.
Sounds like there's an extra one running around.
Oh,
It happens.
I'll never tell.
It happens.
Coglina in the chat.
No.
Before we do some housekeeping, right before we went actual recording live, Kamen mentioned a thing he forced me to witness, and I think we should talk about it before I do some housekeeping. So Kamen, I kick to you to tell this story, and I'll chime in at some point.
I'm not gonna explain how we got to this point in time, not yet at least, because there's a joke later that I'm gonna play that you guys are gonna love. And it's related to this. Either way, I spent a lot of time looking for porn on Steam. And it'll make sense. And during that, I stumbled across a game. A game titled Sex Standing.
Yeah, standing.
A Death Stranding sex parody game on Steam. And I am laughing hysterically. And my wife goes, "You should send that to Jerica. She will think it's so funny." And I said, I, as a male in this equation, do not feel comfortable sending a porn game to a female, essentially coworker, colleague, because I definitely feel like there's lines here. So what I did was I sent it to Patrick instead and said, "Dudes can't harass dudes." So Patrick in his Steam catalog right now is a copy of Sex Standing.
And I was doing stuff for the podcast yesterday, and I'm just like scrolling through my Steam library, and because I only saw the email about it, so I click into it. And I'm looking at like the preview, and you see everything in this game. You see.
Instant download.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sold.
Hello, it's
I
me,
guess I know
HR.
what package you're delivering.
If I just got consent, I will also purchase and send Jerica a copy because it was like 50 cents. So like I have no qualms with this.
My birthday's right around the corner. It's all I want. Send it to me.
Hell yeah.
Well,
What a way to
for your
start
birthday
your
early, I actually platinumed My Name is Mayo Mayo just for you
Damn
too.
it. That's
We
so
love
sweet
to
of
see
you.
If you missed
Thanks.
that, check out the last few episodes.
Exactly. Well, speaking of, with some housekeeping before we jump into the reason we're here, which is Game of the Year, some very good content, if I do say so myself, we've been putting out lately. Go over to our YouTube for our Secret Santa Christmas special, where we all played a game for each other in secret and presented our findings and our opinions, which was very fun, which is also part of the reason why we have this nice festive background right now for you watching live, that Jerica made. Thank you, Jerica. And then also the Innies that premiered on Christmas, the award show that we gave out all sorts of awards to video games that came out this year. Awards that I guarantee no other podcast group gave out. So go watch that. And then that's old content. How about some new content? Jordan working on a video essay dropping TBA right now? Question mark?
Probably the weekend. So give it a couple more days and check the YouTubes. But
Hell yeah, we're going to talk about blueprints, Metroid, design language, etc. So I'm going to be watching as a blueprint sicko. Maybe we talk about those two games later today. Who's to say? And then our final piece of housekeeping, a very exciting piece of housekeeping. This is something we've been teasing for quite some time. And I'm disappointed that Josh isn't here to experience the fun in the moment because he's playing a big part of this. For those of you that watched the Secret Santa special, you know that he is officially a member of Drop In, Drop Out, but he's got responsibilities. He wasn't able to make it here tonight. And one of those responsibilities, in fact, is setting us up because next year, we're at next year. Later this month in 2026, at the end of January, for our 1-year anniversary, we are doing an in-person stream extravaganza over the weekend of January 30th through February 1st. If you're watching live now, you see Jake in the background in his little prison of a television. He is not going to be able to join us in person, but he will be a part of all of the fun, just in a virtual way. But we are very excited. So book your calendars. We're going to be live streaming most of the weekend, not the entire weekend. We're going to have to sleep, but we're going to, at the very least, do at least one 12-hour stream, maybe two. But we're going to do a jamboree then that we're going to announce soon. We're going to do all sorts of fun stuff. So book it because in person is happening and we are very fucking excited. Anybody want to say anything about in person other than me?
Can't wait to see your beard.
I can't wait to see all your bodies and know how big everybody is. You know what I mean?
Fat fuck, okay?
I keep hearing about Patrick's ass, so I'm gonna get up there.
Patrick got
I'm
a
gonna
dump
look.
truck downstairs.
I got a
We're
movie.
gonna compare.
And y'all are going to see.
Business in
cannot
the front,
wait.
party in the back, if you know what I mean.
I
Yeah.
really
Oh my God.
wanted to rub Jake's head though. I'm so sad I won't be able to do that.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Saddest part of it all.
Every 36 hours, I'm just pestering Jake to let me buy him a ticket to come down. There's reasons he's not coming that isn't money. But if
Yes.
people in the chat want to help me just wear him down for him to come join us in Alabama later this month, then
Oh my God.
I'm sure he's going to really like that if you guys just pester him the next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
You guys have no idea how much. Thank you. The chat is very excited, which I'm very excited that they're excited. There's so much planned. There's a lot going with this. Me and Jake have got a schedule we're making. It's going to be a whole thing. So basically, you should just submit your time off for this weekend as well so that you can be there for the whole thing. It's the 30th through the 1st. Is that
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
That's
Friday
right,
to
yeah.
Sunday.
So it's going to be a fun
Sunday,
time.
probably a
I'm very-
light day of content. We'll probably just do a bit something in the morning, perhaps maybe into the early afternoon, but we won't go late on Sunday probably.
Fridge Dip said Patty Wagon, and I love
Let's go.
It's true. It's true.
That's something.
It is true. Are we going to meet Nancy,
Write that
Caitlin?
down. Noah.
Oh my God, maybe
Nancy's
not
in the chat
local,
excited.
but she could probably come on.
Well, we'll see.
We can
I mean,
make it
put her
work.
on a TV. Put her in a TV too.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
roll
True.
Nancy around.
That's
Y'all aren't
exactly
ready
right.
for CRT.
I'm worried if I met. I'm worried if I met Nancy in person, how disappointed she would be when she sees me.
I
Just
don't think
being
so.
like,
Sure.
all of the times I've had to listen to you say awful things, do awful things to the people you love. I just have no respect for you. Which, to be fair,
No,
I
she would never.
understand implicitly.
She would never. She's
She'd
too
never.
kind.
But yeah, we're gonna have definitely more announcements soon. But yeah, not Nancy subscribing after that.
Hell yeah.
Coleman's gifted Mom Nancy a sub.
She's the
Thank you,
best.
Coleman.
W Coal Mines, W Cirrus as well for another subscription, 11 months. And just a few weeks, we'll have our first 1 year subscribers at our 1 year anniversary, which is going to be very exciting.
Lots of surprises
Well,
in store.
What say we? Oh yeah, y'all don't. Yeah, I mean, now that you know it's happening, dream to the moon because we're going to take you there, I promise. What do you say we jump into the topic at hand? Game of the Year 2025. The way this is going to work, for those of you that didn't listen to our very, very first episode that we launched Drop and Drop Out with, which was like a backdoor pilot of a Spotlight Games episode, all of us have submitted to me their top 10 list. Number 1 got 10 points. Number 2 got 9 points, all the way down to number 10 getting 1 point. I put all those games into a pile, gave them a little stir, and what we are about to unveil is the collective top 10 of the 6 of us for Drop and Drop Out 2025. There are a couple tiebreakers, which I'll go over as I unveil the games. And the way tiebreakers will work for the chat to not be confused, there's like a few tiers of it. So if a game was on more lists than the other game, that is the first tiebreaker. Their average placement across the list. So if I had a game number 1, Kamen had it 3, Jake had it 4, and that average is higher than the game that it's tied with, that is the next tiebreaker. And then after that, which game is the highest on someone's list, which is a way that we do a tiebreaker this time. Last year we didn't get to our 3rd tiebreaker, but this year we did. Our 4th tiebreaker we didn't get to, which is I would just pick the one I like more. But so maybe next year we get to that tiebreaker. Nice. But thankfully we got through it with the 3rd one this time. But before we do that, so now that we've gone over the rules, I was revisiting our episode last year, and that was the first episode that Kamen had done in a long time because of his health stuff. And so we had a little bit planned that we are now making a tradition. Kamen got to submit 2 lists, and he's going to unveil his top 10 games of 2025 right now. Kamen, I kick the floor to you.
Thank you, sir. Starting off at the number 10 place, we have FBC Firebreak.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite Remedy game.
Yeah.
At number 9, we have Jake's favorite game of 2025, Tales of the Shire, you foot freak. At number 3, Patrick's favorite game of 2025, Fast and the Furious Arcade Edition.
That's exactly right.
At number, what is it we get? Number 6, 7. Number 7, Football Manager 2026.
Ooh, sure.
I know nothing about this game, but from what I've heard, it should be number 7 on the list.
It's there.
Number 6 on the list, Jerica's favorite game of 2025, Death Stranding 2, Life on the Beach. Life's a beach. Something about a beach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 5, Ambulance Life, a paramedic simulator. Number 4, Mind's Eye.
Sure.
This becomes very important. Number 3, all of our favorite games of 2025, Fetish Locator, S&M Studio. And this is the reason why I spent so much time looking for porn games. I was looking for the best one I could find, and this was it. Number 2, I know you guys are waiting for this one. Number 2, best game of 2025, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour.
Yeah. That's exactly
right.
Rounding us out, hope you guys are ready. Rounding us out with the number 1 best game of Dumpster Boys 2025, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Woo! The Beyonding.
Aww.
We did it.
Woo, woo, woo. It's the only time it makes it on
beyond,
the list this tonight.
Beyond the Beat.
Maybe not. I guess
Beyond the Beat.
Beyond the Beat.
I'm not kidding when I say I spent 30 minutes going over porn games on Steam trying to find the one with the best title. And let me tell you,
that's why you were doing
it.
Okay.
If this was the year 2022, we would have been cooking. Sexpocalypse 3D was one of them, and I was like, what the fuck? So, new Dido episode coming up. Maybe I'll try to squeeze it in for Valentine's Day, force everyone to go in and rank the best sex titles on Steam.
I love it. Sex game on Steam or smut book. That might be something.
Ooh. Kayla's library or Patrick's library?
There we go. Very good. And then one other thing we did last year before we actually got into revealing the top 10, which I thought was fun, and I want to do it again, god damn it, is a prediction about the top 10 that we are about to go through. It can be real, it can be a joke, but what do you expect to see here? Jake, I would love to start with you.
I have a feeling we're going to talk about a little game called Expedition 30. All right. Sure. I have a feeling that there's going to be like notable exclusions this year, like things that are like a given on other Game of the Year lists that just don't even appear on our list anywhere.
Okay. I like that a lot. Kayla, what about you?
Okay.
I have a feeling that there is at least one game that half of us have not heard of that makes the list somehow.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I just have a feeling that there's some indies that snuck onto the list that most of us don't know what they are.
Okay. Jordan, what about you?
I have an actual prediction for Expedition 33 that it's going to be either number 2 or number 3, not
Okay.
first place.
Okay.
That's
Ooh.
my thought.
Ooh.
Kamen, what about you?
I'm going to go with there's going to be more indies than AAA games on this year's top 10.
Okay, Kamen, more indies than AAA. I'm going to write these down so we can revisit it at the end. Kamen, more indies than AAA. Jericho, what about you?
Also, Fetish Locator S&M Studio will not be on the actual top 10.
That's bold.
I fear that it's
bold.
not going to make it.
Even though it's so we actually haven't done a game of the year at JK Games, so I technically have two predictions. One's for fun and just one's for I think this will really happen. But I think there's at least 2 games on Kayla's list that I've never heard of, and then I immediately, or not immediately, maybe I just put it off a little bit longer. Then I play it, then I realize this is the best game of all time. Why do I just I need to just listen to Kayla for the rest of my life, because I've finally played the game about digging a hole, and I'm really disappointed in myself that I didn't get to that sooner. So I bet Kayla's got something on my list that I'm just going to literally drop everything I'm doing, wait for the podcast to end, and go play. I'm hoping. And then for some reason, I think we're not going to put a Silk Song on the list anywhere, because none of you are gamers. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You
No
all
Silk
suck.
Song.
You
We
suck.
are
Little baby
gamers.
back bitch.
We suck.
Man, it made
We
me so
are
mad.
baby back
Real-
bitches.
Real quick, Coal Mines has a prediction that says my prediction is Blueprints wins overall.
Could be.
Interesting.
I guess
Interesting.
we're
None of us
gonna
know except for Patrick.
find out. Except for me, yeah. What I would have said, and this, don't read into this, but my prediction was also going to be Jordan's, that Expedition 33 does not win our game of the year. And so that's not a hint. That's just what I thought going into this. And we're going to find out if I was wrong and if Jordan was wrong or if we were right. What do we say? We jump to our number 10 game.
Yeah.
With 12 points across 2 lists, our first tiebreaker of the evening. The number 10 game for Drop In Dropouts 2025 is, let me remove that little, where is it? In person goes away to reveal Silent Hill F. Where the fuck is it? God damn it.
Is that the
Silent Hill F
full
is our number
subtitle?
10. Here we go. We're back. We're alive. Silent Hill F, number 10. This was on my list and Kayla's list. Let's see. I had it at number... It'll be smoother from here on out. The in-person threw me off. Kayla had it number 3. I had it number 7. So, Kayla, I kick to you. Silent Hill F, your 3rd favorite game of 2025.
Wow.
Yeah, I think like this one is one where like I have several games on my list that I played like maybe earlier in the year. I have some that I played more recently, but I think for this one, like it's one that stuck with me for the longest. Like I've been thinking about it, like thinking about the impact of the story itself. Like this one, I think, like not to get too deep, but like also kind of to get deep, because me and Jerica did this for a video game book club, so it was really fun to like discuss as we played. But I feel like this one, to me, what really resonated with me was the like way that it explored like societal expectations on women in a very interesting way. And like that's not a spoiler, that's just like in general kind of like you can tell pretty quickly that that's where it's going. But this is my first Silent Hill game ever, so I was really excited about that too. And I love horror, so I've not played this franchise for so long that I was so excited to dive in, and it was so much fun to do it like as a video game book club and with my friends. And Patrick also joined us for one of the episodes, so that one has just kind of like stuck with me. I found the gameplay really engaging, the puzzles were really fun, but like challenging enough, but like I got that satisfaction of like getting through a section with also like having like the difficulty be fair enough for me where I could like accomplish it within, I think the runtime was like what, like 15
ish, about 15-ish.
10 to 15-ish hours, which is just like enough for me to like feel good about it and not have to sink like so much time into it. So really loved it and have thought about it a lot since. So that's kind of like my reason why it plays so high on my list.
Yeah, for me, it stayed around for a bit in the like 4 to 5 range until some other games knocked it down a little bit later in the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really loved this game a lot, and so Coal Mine's in the chat saying that he played Silent Hill 2 after and was disappointed by it. And I had the reverse experience where I played the Silent Hill 2 remake last year, so I was a little wary going into this game. Granted, that was Bloober, this is Konami, the first new Silent Hill in quite some time at this scale. And so I was just a bit worried about like the setting was really interesting and different for any Silent Hill game that we've had before. And yeah, I thought they'd knocked it out of the park. And it's the kind of
Yeah.
thing where if we didn't do this and we didn't try to play all the new games and talk about what's new in the industry, and I definitely would have replayed Silent Hill F at least one more time for a different ending. Instead, I just like
Mhm.
did the YouTube rabbit hole of like what are all of the different things that this game
Yeah.
has for us. But I'm a sucker for an unreliable narrator story, which
Yeah,
I guess is
me
kind of a
too.
spoiler. But it's something that you would figure out pretty soon in the game, I think. And so yeah, I highly recommend Silent Hill F for anyone in the chat that loves a spooky game and hasn't played it yet. I know Jerica played this game. Did anybody else play Silent Hill F this year? No,
It's very
Jerica,
like
what?
psychological in a fun way.
This didn't crack your list, which I thought was interesting.
There was just a lot of games this year, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just broken by. Here's the deal: I've never played a Silent Hill game either. I started the remake of 2, but I've just always been so deeply like connected to like Resident Evil and the gameplay and how those games sort of give you the option of how you play, I guess, with combat. So I don't know, like the combat wasn't as fun as and everybody's
Sure.
gonna say, it's more realistic. It's a little bit more difficult, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Resident Evil is pretty hard too. There was just something about, and I can't really put my finger on it. Like story wise, really good. Gameplay just didn't land for me, and the world just seemed sort of void of things that made it worth me interacting with, like
Sure.
Yeah. That's fair.
exploring. That's why I love Resident Evil so much. Is just around every corner is worth your time. And I feel like Resident Evil or Silent Hill F had some opportunity, but the story was awesome. It's a bold entry back into what a Silent Hill game can be.
Mhm.
So on that end, great experience. But there was just so many other games, so I had to.
Sure.
That just nailed more of those pillars of a great game for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, it's certainly I don't disagree with what you said. It was just like the mileage may vary type thing for me, where even though the world it was a bit void at times, everything else just like worked enough for me that it stuck in the top 10 list. But so yeah, number 10, Silent Hill F. Congrats to Konami, the sought after top 10 list of drop in,
yes.
drop out.
Your
Exactly.
award is in the mail.
Yeah, exactly right. Number 9, moving to number 9. This game was on 2 lists again. As I said, this was a part of a tiebreaker, and this was the one that got to that third level of the tiebreaker. So this came down to who had this game higher on their list, and it wasn't me, even though I was the one that had this on their list as well. But Jordan also had. God damn it, I hit the wrong button. Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector is our number 9 game of the year. Jordan, you're number 2 for the year.
Yes. This was the first new game that I played this year. Shout out to fellow traveler for the review copy, all that fun stuff for the disclosures. But man, it just stuck with me for the entire year as far as like the story, the writing, just very, very impactful, very well done game in pretty much every regard that I could even hope for. Not usually the type of game I always go for necessarily, but I feel like maybe in 2024, toward the end of that, playing 1,000 Times Resist kind of cracked that little shell of me being more open to the more narrative and less like gameplay heavy, quote unquote, types of games. So I'm very glad that happened because this is an all timer for me. Really, it's excellent.
Yeah, this was my number 1 for a bit in the year because it came out so early. But it ended up landing at my number 8 on the year.
Okay, fair.
This, I think, by the Blueprints, I think was the first game that I played that unseated it, which I want to say was February or March. So it had like a solid month at my number 1 spot. But yeah, I love this game, and I played 1 really close to playing 2. I kind of played them both back to back. And yeah, really enjoyed it. Great music, great vibes. A really cool system with dice in this game of like you wake up and you have dice that has been rolled for you, and those dice are then used for various things to kind of like give you a chance of success, kind of like in a D&D type way. And if you just happen to roll a bad roll that morning and you just got all 1s and 2s, then you got to reassess how you like what you want to try to achieve that day, because you're probably going to fail at anything that you do. So there's like a really cool random aspect to it that doesn't lock you out of things per se. It just like makes you reassess what to do in the world, and really good narrative, really strong writing, and I was glad that this snuck in, tied with with number 10 Silent Hill F.
Very glad that I made it.
Yeah. Number 8. So no more ties until later in the episode. Number 8, 16 points, again on 2 lists. Myself and Jerica. You might learn pretty fast. Most of my top 10 is in this. So I'm going to say my name a lot today.
Okay. It is suspicious. Just like you're fucking cheating,
see.
Patrick. You're not allowed to talk anymore for the rest of the show.
For sure.
Yeah,
You did this on purpose.
I definitely engage in cheating, which is certainly why Expedition 33 not the number 1 game of the year. But no, our number 8 game of the year is Death Stranding 2 on the beach. This was my number 5, and Jerica's number 1 game. Our first number 1 of the evening, Jerica.
Wow.
Had the most fun with it out of all the games this year. Personally, like, it was the perfect sequel to the weirdest fucking game I ever played that committed to being extra weird again, and then fixing the gameplay and just making it a world that you really just want to keep walking in, because that's hard to make fun. Just, empty open world walking and making deliveries, that's hard to make fun. But Kojima and the crew figured it out, and this is my number 1. Incredible game.
Yeah, this landed at my number 5 of the year. I talked about earlier on content in the year that Death Stranding 1 finally clicked for me this year, after trying it several times and kind of being bored by it. But whatever it was, the stars aligned and it worked for me. And I thought 2 was better than 1 in literally every single possible way. Even though it's fucking crazy, but it's really stuck with me how crazy it is, but how there is still more of a through line, I think, in 2 than in 1, that like I see the story that was trying to be told from the beginning with Death Stranding 1. And I think even though there's a lot of weird shit that goes on in this game,
but there's a dictionary now. If you don't understand, it's telling you what's going on. It's very helpful, especially for someone like me with a short-term memory. Like, there was things about the first game I forgot, and I'm like, I remember that term. Oh, okay, that's what that is. Thank you for bringing it up at the perfect time. Yeah. So, the story is much more tighter and a little bit easier to digest this time around. And the ending, the last 3 hours, is the best moment in gaming I've had in a few years.
Hell yeah.
Yo, that's a bold statement.
The end.
It truly is.
It's a great final act in Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Our number 8, Death Stranding 2 on the beach with 16 points. Our next game, the final game that was only on 2 lists. From here on out, it'll be more than 2 lists. But this is the first game that I'm not going to talk about. So you're welcome, chat. With 17 points, just squeaking past Death Stranding 2 on the beach. This got a number 2 and a number 3 vote. So it's got some power behind it. And that is Power Wash Simulator is the number 7 game.
I'm so happy. That makes me happy.
Yeah, this was Jerica's 2 and Kamen's 3.
It's my number 2.
Yeah. I was shocked that this was your number 2, Jerica.
Number 3, baby.
From the heart. Oh, hell yeah. Number 3.
Yeah. Look, here's the thing. You guys are wrong. This game should be much higher up on the list. So that just means that none of you played it besides the 2 of us, or it would be potentially number 1. I think the other thing to say here is that something very poignant to be said. It's better than Kojima's game, which I think is also really
Science tells us that this is a better game than Death Stranding 2.
Science says, if you... There's a video game.
Damn it.
Like,
yeah,
this is it. And Power Wash Simulator 2 is just better than Power Wash Simulator. So like it's just a better overall experience, and it's one of arguably the best experiences you can have this year.
Wow. Give Sam Porter Bridges a Power Wash, or a Power Wash next time. Yeah. Why can I not think of the name? A Power Washer?
Yeah,
I'll never
Is it a power washer? A strong hose pipe. I need to clean some rocks and some cargo.
Strong hose pipe Simulator 2 coming to you.
Wait, hold on. Can we pressure wash Kayla or Josh's house during our one in person?
Yeah,
I got one. I'll bring it. You know,
Can
I
I
got
just
one
say-
recently. Yeah, I recently acquired one because I wanted to
think
power
we
wash
should.
more.
I think we
Jerica,
should.
please tell the story that you told on JK Games about the power washer that like asked you if you wanted a job.
Have I done that
Please.
on Dido
No.
yet?
I don't think so.
That
I've
was
never
on
heard of
don't
it.
think so.
That was on
It'll be-
JK
it'll be-
Games.
It'll be under a minute.
Yeah.
So I was at a public place. I think it was at the post office, honestly, dropping off some packages, funny enough, like Death Stranding. And this guy was like in a power wash suit. And I went up to him because I was playing this game right now. I was like, yo, do you power wash? Do you do this for a living? He's like, yeah. He's like, why are you bringing this up to me? I'm like, man, I am playing this game. I know this might sound strange, but I'm playing a game and that's all you do is just power wash things. And I've learned a lot. And I have found that maybe this might be something I want to do with my life.
Sure.
If this doesn't work out. Listen, you gotta play. And he's like, yeah, well, actually, I've just he was so intrigued. He was so interested, which was really cool. And you know, his wife had gotten sick recently, so that's why he wasn't doing power washing his whole life. He had another job, but now he's doing this so he could be at home to take care of her. And he's like, well, maybe I'll let her play. She wants something more, like something else to do when she's at home. I was like, good, bring the work home with you and you can do it together and learn about all the different nozzles. And then he like offered me a card. He's like, I've never met someone so passionate about power washing.
That's so funny.
Maybe
This is a real story.
give me a call if you want to change careers. I was like, okay, I might. I have it somewhere. So yeah, that
That's
really happened.
so funny. I love
Games
that.
bring us together. You
Games
know?
bring us together,
Games
and
bring
Power
I got a
Wash
backup plan.
Simulator is the game that brought everyone together.
Mm-hmm.
I played Power Wash for one night, and it's the kind of thing where I like purposefully wouldn't play more because I saw it immediately get its hooks in me. I did like the tutorial level, and I was like, I can't do this. This is too good.
Yeah.
So it could have made it a lot higher than number 6 or 7.
The
whatever.
best
Too many
comfort food.
nozzles.
Exactly. And it wouldn't let me stick the nozzle up my ass. Crazy.
Damn
Come
it.
on.
You
For
didn't
For
get to the last level.
$70, come on.
I know. Well, it was on Game Pass, so I paid whatever Game Pass costs, which is like
Can't spell
$70
Game
bucks.
Pass
a
without
month.
ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Whoa.
saying?
$0.
You're right.
Whoa.
Next up, our number 6 video game. This is on 3 lists. This was on my list. This was on Jerica's list. And this was on Kamen's list. Our number 6 game of the year with 18 points. Ghost of Yotei. Kamen, this was your number 2 video game for 2025. Talk to us.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the same thing about Power Wash Simulator 2 that like Ghost of Yotei just took Ghost of Tsushima and just made it better. I like the story of
Not hard to do.
Atsu much more as well.
Yeah.
I'd like that story. I feel it felt more like a classic samurai film from like the 60s. And I think all of the little features that they added, I think work really well. I think that the addition of new weapon types makes the game much more the variables that you can play with in it, I feel like work better. And ultimately the world of Edo, I think feels much more lived in than Tsushima. Like just being able to like naturally just stumble into side quests that you don't realize are even something you should be aware of is such a cool thing. And so for me, like I really came down to like I love this game. I think this game is fantastic, and I fear that, like Tsushima, it will be overlooked in the years to come.
I agree.
But you know,
I big agree for me. I finally finished this over the holiday break. And this, yeah, so for me, this landed at number 6. And it took a long time. Like there was a time toward the beginning of my playing this game where I was like, I think maybe I just don't have it in me to keep going or what. I don't know. It just wasn't clicking. And then finally one day, I don't even have an answer as to what clicked. It just finally did. And then I just devoured the rest of this game. And yeah, I think the story is so much stronger than the first game. I think, yeah, Atsu is so much stronger than Steve Tsushima. I forget Jin Sakai. So yeah, definitely. I couldn't remember his name for a second. But yeah, so I think Ghost of Tsushima, or Ghost of Yotei rather, I think will have a much longer, better legacy than Tsushima will. I think when more people give it a shot.
Right.
And I think there was some fatigue perhaps that Jake maybe has talked about a few times on his stream that just
Jesus Christ.
Oh brother. But hey, he didn't play it. Am I wrong?
Didn't play it.
Didn't play it. Jericho, this is your number 7 video game for 2025.
Echoing everything y'all said, I'll add. I put my thought in the chat, but yeah, I had a really good time with this game, and I love the evolution of the combat, being able to pick different weapons that really made the experience for me. And then yeah, let Atsu fuck. Come
Let her
on,
fuck.
shoot. So, I can't tell if that
fuck.
lady was her aunt or a good friend, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I know what
Could
you're
be
saying.
both. I couldn't tell.
Roommate,
I
and
need
they
that-
were roommates.
I needed to see where that went. I could tell
They had a
something was
farm
up.
upstate. A lot
Yeah.
of dogs. Or I guess
Yeah.
wolves, right? Atsu has a wolf. Is that,
Wolf,
is
yeah.
that the
Yes,
thing, right?
multiple wolves. Yes.
Ooh,
What a lovely, what a good
I heard there's
boy.
horses in this
There are
game. I want to
horses,
play
yeah,
it.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I hated
I think
them.
you would like Yote a lot, Kayla. And not because
Jericho
of the
stays
horse.
hating horses.
They're everywhere.
But yeah, justice for Ghost of Yote. I'm just glad I made the list, being on 3 of our lists.
Yeah.
Next up, number 5. We're getting into the top 5. We're moving fast,
Ooh.
but there'll be lots to discuss.
45 minutes.
Future.
I don't know if
We're
that's
pretty
Well,
fast.
the recording is only 36 minutes in.
Okay.
Finally, we
fair.
won't last as long.
And I keep.
It's because none of my games have been in the top fucking
Yeah, true.
10
You
so
only
far.
have like 2 in the
Fuck.
top 10. Heads
Oh
up.
fuck!
Well,
Don't worry, we'll get to your list.
Does your
But-
head deflate when you get less talk
A
time?
little
Jake?
bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Aww.
But the chat, just so the chat is aware, I deleted the button on my Stream Deck to send it to the opening music because I did it again, and so it won't happen again. I promise.
Somebody said delete the button. Was it Squanky? Somebody
Maybe
said delete
I don't know,
the
but it's been
button.
deleted, so it won't happen again. I promise. Which is actually not good for later when I try to end the show, but I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Our first, I'm gonna say it. Our first surprise of the night. Our number 5 game. This game made it on 3 lists. No, it made it on 4 lists. So from here on out, we're 4 and up. This had a number 1 and a number 2, but it only made it to number 5. And I regret to inform the chat that Coal Mines is incorrect because our number 5 game of 2025 is Blueprints. This was Jake's number 1. This was my number
Holy
2.
fuck.
This was Cog's number 7 and Kayla's number 9. I really thought this was going to make it higher than 5.
Wow. My number 9 brought us
fuck.
down.
Some numbers and science do not lie. But Jake, I kicked to you. Your first game on the list here, your number 1 game, our number 5 Blueprints.
Meta
Wow.
conversation first about the result is so crazy. Like I thought this
That
was
is
a player
crazy.
for number 1,
Yeah.
but
An upset.
God damn. Yeah, really wild. I think I want to say that last year my number 1 game came in 5th place as well. I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth might have been 5th place.
Might have been.
It was like
Should have to
6th, 5th, or
compare.
4th. Yeah, Chad, who wants to multitask?
I did some comparisons that I'll show later, but I didn't compare that.
Okay, interesting.
We just take Jake's number 1, put it at number 5, and build the rest of the list out from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
I feel
go ahead,
like I
continue.
haven't given Blueprints its flowers in a really long time. So let me just talk about all the things that I love about this incredible video game and why it's my number 1. I am so stunned that this game worked for me as well as it did, to the point of when this game came out, I did not play it on launch day. I was not excited for it. I believe I made fun of Tonda
You
when
did.
he announced it. Correct. And my chat told me there's no chance you will love Blueprints because we talk about everything big that comes out. You know what I mean? Like it was already a topic. I knew of the game and people had already been playing it and streaming it. And everyone was saying Jake would hate this fucking game. And I watched a couple streams just of like the opening hour or two the day that it came out. And I was like, I think I need to play this video game. And I am so glad that I did because this game is so special to me. And it's to the point of I am now thinking about my top 10 and top 20 games of all time and where to start slotting Blueprints in because I love it the same way that I love Outer Wilds. And as much as you might think, okay, well, it's just doing what Outer Wilds does, it's very much not, but it's just the closest thing that you can think of as far as it's a video game that you solve, not a video game that you finish, that you beat.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those experiences that I cherish because you can only have that experience one single time. And with Outer Wilds, I didn't have that the year that Outer Wilds came out. I didn't pay that game mind until like 2021 or something like that. And this year to experience it at the right time, like with the zeitgeist and the whole 9 yards, was an absolutely incredible time. And solving this game on stream and the sequence of events that happened, even though it's a very RNG heavy game, I do feel like I see where other people could have had a worse experience than me, but my individual experience of it, which is recorded and, out there for people to look at, was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I remember, so this is my number 2. I remember back when the game came out and I had started playing it because I had heard just critically it was being received very well. So I was like, okay, cool. It's on PlayStation Plus. So I'll give it a shot. And pretty fast, it was like, oh, this game is special. And I messaged Jake at one point before he started streaming it. And I was like, I think you would really fuck with this game. But at the time, I didn't know that you hated games where you had to read. Because, I mean, this is like February. And so this is a point in which like
We had
we're
just
still
started, yeah.
like we had only started Dido like a couple weeks ago. Granted, we had been
Yeah.
like
Working
creating
on it,
content for
yeah.
like 4 months at this point,
Yeah.
something like that. But we still didn't know each other super well. And so I remember wanting you to like this game so badly. And when that first stream, we were like, I think this game's fucking incredible. I was like, all right, this fucking guy, I tell you what. But this was also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was one of the first games that our Discord really like latched onto and talked a lot about. Like there was a point
Which
in
was
which
really fun. We had our own
the
thread.
That's a
spoiler
cool minds talking
thread,
about in chat right now.
yeah, the spoiler
Yeah.
thread blew the fuck up, which was so much fun. And then it's happened several times throughout the year. The Expedition 33 one still gets messages every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, this is a game that like I struggled is the wrong word. I debated a lot whether this was my 1 or my 2. But I've said on content before already, Hades 2 is my number 1. But this game, agreeing with Jake, this is, I think, last I looked, I have this at like a number 11 of all time for me in my like it's always it's a working list for me, but I fucking adore Blueprints. And Cog, this is on your list too, and this is something that you came very late to the party. It's been so fun also experiencing this game through you the last like 4 weeks. So yeah, tell us about your experience with Blueprints.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like part of this has been in the Discord, but obviously not all of our listeners are in the Discord. So I tried it earlier this
Should be.
year. It should be, yeah. Join the Discord. Tried it earlier this year. Put a solid, like I really did try. I put like a solid dozen hours into it. I think I got to day like 28 in the game, and it just the RNG was just like working against me so badly. And I mean, I made a whole essay about how that affected my enjoyment of the game or whatever. And so I think I had it at like my number 20 for the year for the longest time. And then like I told Patrick, I was like, I feel like I should just give it another shot because like you love it, Jake loves it, like Eric loves it, like all these people that we interact with all the time love it so much. So finally I pulled the trigger on it like just a couple weeks ago. Went on a tear, literally like 72 real world hours between me like purchasing it, starting a whole new file, and then hitting credits and like tearing up at the cutscene to hit the credits and all this stuff. And like I have to make this other essay about it that Patrick so kindly plugged at the beginning of the episode, because what I realized, and I'm not gonna read my entire script to y'all or anything like that, don't worry. But like what I realized
And
about
this is the script for the essay.
Here we go, pulling up the doc. What I realized about that earlier attempt was something that I also realized about some of the critiques about Metro Prime 4, which was that like there are things about the design language of these games that if you're like me who takes something at face value and it's like, okay, your objective and blueprints, get to room 46 for your inheritance, blah blah blah. If you internalize only that and all you're focusing on is just that, you're going to have a bad time. I had a bad time. Within like just a couple, like within like 2 or 3 hours probably of playing this game on this second, redemption tour, so to speak, I was solving puzzles. I was finding new things that I hadn't found the first time around. And it wasn't because I never saw this room before. It was because I was actually paying attention and engaging with the systems as the developers were kind of intending us to. So that really completely shifted my outlook on it. Really, like again, it jumped from like number 20 to number 7 within a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It didn't hit number 1 or number 2, but again,
Sure.
it had some incredible moments. And again, this is, as Jericho mentioned earlier, this has just been such an incredible year anyway that making top 10 at all is like saying something because there's so many good games.
No, for when I first saw that this game landed at 5, I was like, oh, what a bummer. But then you see the top 4 and it's like, I get it. Kayla, you're number 9. This is a game that you played a lot back in the day, and I don't think you've revisited it much, but tell us about your experience with the game.
Yeah, I played it like I'm very much like I give into the hype kind of girl. So like everybody was talking about it. I was like, well, I gotta play it, see if it like what happens. And I tried it and I got kind of frustrated in the beginning because again, like Cog mentioned, like I'm very much like a mainline kind of person. Like I'm not normally one to like in a like RPG example, like to do all the side quests or like go on the extra mission. So like some of the stuff that you're supposed to read in between the lines or like figure out along your way, like I was kind of like blind to. And so I do feel like it still hasn't quite clicked for me. Like I've been in the Discord and been like, hey, am I supposed to understand this yet? Like, so there's still some things that are missing for me, but I see the vision that the developers had. And I think like you can so tell like the heart that was put into this that I see the potential while it hasn't like, I haven't rolled credits or anything like that. I think I've put probably like 10 hours into it. So like a decent amount for me, especially. But so I put it at my number 9 because I see the potential that it could have for me if I was to fully like invest myself into it. But I haven't like fully, oh wow, Cog's got his notebook out for those wondering. But yeah, so I think like I definitely it leaves me intrigued enough to like revisit. Like I played I think I played like 2 more hours in the past like so I was trying to finalize my top 10, so I played a little bit more of it, and I got it kind of got like looped back in. Like my mind was like, ooh, like I wonder what happens around this corner. I haven't really been spoiled on much. So yeah, it's my number 9 because I see the potential, but I haven't quite got to the point where it's like I get that satisfaction yet from it. But I see like why it's so intriguing to so many.
For sure. Yeah. I lately we've been going through our boxes in storage because somewhere in one of those boxes is my Blueprints notebook, and I'm gonna find it one day. I haven't yet, but because I picked it back up again on a new save file on my Steam Deck, and I was like, man, there's so many puzzles here that I have solved that I've written about but I want to find it and revisit that. So number 5, Blueprints, 4 lists. Very good.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, our number 4, 31 points. Nope, 27 points. That's a little spoiler for number 3, has 31 points. 27 points for number 4. This was on 4 people's lists. The highest it got was 2, so no number 1 votes for this. But our number 4 video game of 2025 goes to Dispatch. This was Kayla's 2, my 3, Kamen and Jerica's 6. So this had some strength behind it. So Kayla, I kicked to you first as your number 2 for the year.
Yeah, I think that this one, for me, I think what sticks out the most is there's some very like holy shit, like game defining moments for me in this. Like specifically episode 5, the whole scene where you're in the bar with your group of people, like your group of like anti-heroes. Like I just love the like bonding between you, the dispatcher, and like your team. And while I think like I know there's some critique around like it missed the mark a little bit and it's like choice based, like the kind of like I feel like it was some people have said like they felt like it was leading them in a certain direction, or they felt like regardless of the choices they made, their outcome maybe wasn't what exactly they wanted. I do see that and I hear that, but I'm someone who enjoys a linear experience, and I feel like the experience the ad hoc team was trying to give you like was so incredible. That's why it placed so highly on my list. There's so many like defining moments. I love the gameplay, I love the voice acting, the story, the like different interactive elements. I think this just overall was a very well-rounded like story, atmosphere, music, like everything about this like stuck out to me and has continued to like be something I think fondly back on. While I haven't like gone and replayed this because I feel like my choices I made along the way are like my choices I'm like dedicated to. I could see myself replaying this to try to see like what else could come from it.
Yeah.
And I really hope that one day they release like a unlimited like dispatch mode, because I feel like the actual dispatching that you do in the game with like your heroes, like you get to like kind of choose different attributes to upgrade on the heroes and you get to send them on certain missions. I feel like that if you released it in like a standalone, I could play it for hours and hours. Because I love that aspect of it too. But I just feel like it was so well done. I can't wait to see like what the studio does next. That's why I had to place so high on my list. And also I really enjoyed the time like talking through it. This is another one that was really fun to talk through with our audience too about like what choices you made. Team Blonde Blazer / Mandy. So yeah, I loved this game so much. That's why it made it so high on my list. I think very fondly back on it. So
Oh yeah. Kamen, this was your number 6 along with Jericho. Did you ever
Kayla's
finish
wrong.
Dispatch?
I did actually.
Nice.
I did, and then Kayla's wrong. Team Invisigal.
No.
Blonde
There we go.
Blazer does
No.
not. She's not punk enough for me. So
Wholesome.
you
This
know.
gal just reminds me
The
of what's her
thighs.
face,
know.
Vi.
Oh, sure.
Vi and also Tracer
Arcane,
from
yeah.
Overwatch.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep, I
That
see that, I
too.
see that.
Which is
I
a
don't know
big
what Overwatch is.
gives me whiplash because they're both lesbians, you know, and this
Yeah.
didn't get that option in this yet. Blonde
Yeah,
Blazer,
God forbid a
and
woman look
Invisigal
like
my
a
win.
dating-
woman. Fuck.
Look,
Come
considering my
on.
dating history,
Both.
it makes
Huh?
sense. It makes sense for
It-
Okay.
someone to fall within that archetype to
Okay.
also be in
At
a dude.
least, you know. Yeah.
That being said, I have a huge soft spot for Telltale games. Like
Yeah.
huge soft spot for Telltale games. And we haven't had a good one in a very long time. And so I mean, this is just the truth. We haven't had a good Telltale style game in a long time. This is the closest I think we've gotten to like The Walking Dead season 1.
Yeah.
Or Wolf Among Us in terms of like how it's structured and how it works. What I will say, and I think this is the biggest and most prolific part of it, is the actual gameplay of this fucking rules.
So
Whereas
fun.
like Telltale games was like, oh, here's a quick time event. I hope you are quick in this quick time event that you're gonna do 400 times by the end of this 4-hour campaign. Where I feel like Dispatch actually has actual gameplay. And to Kayla's point, why we don't have a standalone just unlimited like loop of this is
Yeah.
beyond me. Like this is a money
upsetting.
maker. It's like Gwent in Witcher. Like we just need a standalone version of this. I'll fucking pay real money for it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think like this has been a strong year. So for me, 6 was a great spot for it. Very much enjoyed my time though.
I bet my swing is that if Jordan and Jake had played Dispatch, this could have maybe been number 1. Because only with 4 of us, it made it all the way up here. Because it was
Yeah.
high on everybody. Well, me and Kayla had it top 3, and then y'all both had 6.
Yeah.
But even a couple more 6s, I think maybe would have put it at number 1, perhaps. But yeah, Jericho, talk to me about your experience.
Kevin, you brought up a good point just talking through like we haven't had a really good Telltale game in a long time. And you always wonder like what a new type of Telltale game could look like other than you controlling a character, moving around a world and like interacting with things. You know, we know that can be that's more game for them to make. So it's really cool to see how this could be evolving where we're for people that maybe want that experience where you're watching more like a TV show and then you have like a small mini game or something that just like marries the story really well, like being
Yeah.
a dispatcher. It's so brilliant. Like thinking back on it, like I like this type of concept where it isn't a full development cycle on a lot of 3D assets. Like this could be something that gets made, not quicker is not the thing, but I feel like that could be easier for teams to get out good stories and smaller types of gaming experiences like dispatching superheroes. Like it's cool, and I cannot wait to. We talked about this. I can't wait to see how they evolve this because you know there's going to be a season 2. So
for
I
sure.
can't
There has
wait.
to be.
I can't wait. But
Yeah,
it's really cool.
There are two things I think that stick out to me about this is that
funny.
like I realize that a Telltale game is at its best when the story is S tier because they've done The Expanse. You know, new Telltale did The Expanse and it was fine, but they spent so much time with The Expanse trying to rework the way it felt and adding more gameplay elements. But it's like, but ultimately, what matters most with this kind of a game is the story, and it just wasn't there as much with The Expanse. But it's like this shows me that all you need to do is make decisions in dialogue and this mini game of dispatching, but the story and the characters in the world is so strong that it doesn't matter. Like that's why it's so high on so many people's lists. And then also I would love to see them branch out and what can dispatch look like in a totally different genre. It like a strategy sim, a fucking third person action game. Like this kind of an IP is so strong in my mind that like I can see it fitting in basically every video game genre, which I think is an exciting place to be for that studio, to see like maybe they just do this more. Maybe they just do a season 2. It's the exact same game. They just beef up, no pun intended, dispatching a little bit, and that's it. Because
Oh,
also beef, goddamn, I can't believe we didn't talk about him
oh my
until I
God.
accidentally
The
said
little
word.
guy
Puppy beef,
award.
man.
He got a little guy award in the Ennies,
He
didn't
did.
he? I
Yeah,
think
he
he
did.
did. Yeah.
He did.
He sure did.
One little guy.
Dispatch. Can I just say, I think Dispatch was the most awarded game at the Ennies. I think.
I think it was.
I don't think we did the full
sounds right.
calculation, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
Mhm.
We're about to enter into the top 3, but before we do that, we have a planned segment to reveal your top 10 of our audience, as decided by you in our Discord. Jordan, aka Cognitive Clips, our data slut, put together all the numbers. And so I kick to you, Jordan. What's the top 10 according to our audience?
Yes. So the way that the points fell out, we're actually going to do a little top 11 situation because there were 3 games that ended up with 9 points. So there were 1 vote each that were like somebody's number 2. I didn't go through and suss out exactly like who voted for these, but you know who you are. So you'll just thank us later. It's fine. So kind of tying for the number 9, 10, 11 spots here. Keep Driving.
Ooh.
Oh,
Let's go.
Jerica. Yeah.
Undusted, which I know, I think that was actually, I remember that was Noah's because he's talked it up a lot in the Discord as well. Then also Elden Ring Night Rain. So all 3 of those had 1 vote each for the second place spot on their respective lists.
Nice.
Big W.
Keep Driving very
from-
high on my backlog right now.
Ooh.
Ooh. For number 8 spot, we have Death Stranding 2. It was the number 1 spot on somebody's list, so it got 10 points.
Nice.
Tying with the same number of points, but it was on 2 lists. So again, Patrick's tiebreakers. So for number 7, Luminous Arise.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that
The-
one yet on ours.
Right.
Maybe it
The
will.
number 6 game for our audience with 2 votes, 16 points, was Hollow Knight Silksong.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Also with also with 2 votes, 16 points, but I actually had to go to Patrick's 4th tier of I liked it more.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So-
Hell yeah.
Trails in the Sky, first chapter, gets the
Sick.
number 5 spot. Yeah.
Based.
Number 4, also Dispatch, actually.
Nice.
Whoa,
Nice.
that's
For our
cool.
audience.
Synergy.
17 points across 2 votes. And from here on, for 3, 2, and 1, we have 3 votes each. So with 21 points, the number 3 game is Blueprints.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Higher than ours.
Juxtaposition.
right. With 24 points, the number 2 game, Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Ooh.
Wow.
Very solid. Yes. And
So no
shocking
Hades
everyone. Yeah, Hades too. The number 1 game with 29 points, Expedition 33.
Very good.
So,
Let's go.
There was no Hades 2,
Yeah.
right?
Let's
On that
go.
list? That's surprising to me.
That is surprising, actually.
Do you
I'm
think
trying-
early access sort of hurt it in terms of like how people are reviewing or
I don't
like
know why
adding
it
it to their
would.
list? You
Personally.
know,
It did.
but I mean, I could see it doing it because like it's been out in my mind for so long,
Mhm.
but I'm just one of those I don't
Over
want
a
to touch it until it's done. So it's where I'm at with Moonlighter. I'd refuse to touch it until it's like complete. But yeah, that was sort of my mindset. I don't know. Jake, I feel like you were talking. I interrupted you.
No. I was. I think you are right. I think that it probably did. In general, talking about like Hades 2 placement in Game of the Year, whatever outlet you're paying attention to. I think that the first one didn't have as much buzz when it was in early access. It was when it launched that it kind of hit its fever pitch. And this one, early access, it was so much buzz in between then and the launch. Definitely minimized it.
Yeah.
It did get the number 4 spot on somebody's list, but it was only one person's list, so
Yeah.
that kind of hurt it.
Mm.
as
Where the
far as
fuck was
the audience
Swanky with his
placement.
list? He could have got it in there. God damn. Well, I think some might say this is a very good segue. We can continue this conversation because our number 3 game was Hades 2. Let's see. This was My number 1, Jake's number 3, Cog's number 4, and Kayla's number 4. So all top 4 positions, but we had 4 lists for this. And yeah, I've waxed poetic about Hades too. But
Hey,
we
these
haven't heard
guys.
Jake in a while because he abandoned me on, hey, these games are pretty good, huh? Hades and Hades 2 podcast. So I kick to you first,
It
Jake, as
performed
your number
so
2.
well.
It
It
did.
performed so well.
It was a
did.
very high performing podcast. Man, Hades 2 is a tough one for me. My top 3 were extremely close, I would say, in how much I enjoyed each one of them. And Hades 2 is a game that, much like Hades 1, I played a ton of this year. I beat the game multiple times, but I didn't squeeze it for all the juice that it has, and I still have time to spend with this game. And that's probably the only reason that it's not sitting at number 1 for me, because I feel like when I do end up jumping back in there, which again with Hades 1, I did that over like 3 intense play segments over the course of like 2 or 3 years. So I have a feeling that, like, in July of 2026, I might spend another 30 or 40 hours with Hades 2 and love it again even more, because this is as perfect as a gameplay loop gets, everything complementing itself in all the perfect ways.
Agreed. Cog, you're number 4.
Yes. I was a little bit late to it. I did not, as Jericho was talking about, kind of our or multiple people, who knows. I didn't really pick it up in early access at all. I didn't even pick it up at launch for 1.0 either. I picked it up, I think it was like October, maybe November, but really, really loved it. I was a fan of the first game as well, and this one just kind of somehow managed to improve on an already very close to perfect gameplay loop. I really loved, I mean, obviously Blueprints and Hades 2 are going for very different things with their roguelike structures, but I just like the style of roguelike that Hades 2 goes for, where it's, even if you don't hit room 46, even if you fail to solve the puzzle you're trying to solve that you're setting out to do with for that day or whatever, with Hades 2, even when you're losing runs or whatever, you're not killing Kronos. Spoiler alert, not really. You're still getting like lore. You're still getting all these things that are happening. You're triggering cutscenes and meeting new characters. All these things are still, like, the game still progresses in a lot of ways that were really satisfying that other games don't really do with their roguelike loops. So that was very appealing to me, and as were every single character design. So
Based.
Good.
yeah.
You are
Patrick,
Patrick,
muted.
you're muted.
bud.
Fuck me right in my
We should have
fucking
just left
pussy.
him. We should have just
Um,
left him talk.
We should have just
Whoa. Whoa.
What's
this is also
eating
Kayla's number
birds
4.
Yes,
Gaping
it is.
pussy.
Please
Yeah.
give it to me so I can.
Kayla, don't say that.
divert
Do not
from
say
this
that.
conversation.
Do not
Okay.
say please give it to me, Kayla.
Um,
Jesus fucking Christ.
Anyways, all the Coglina emotes in the chat. Thank you, chat.
Wow.
I'm just now seeing what everybody was laughing at while I was talking, and incredible. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Continue.
I really think we should be banned from participating in chat while we're on show because y'all are too funny. I fear it's really bad. What are we gonna do when we're all in person?
It's a 4D
together?
experience.
The reason why this one made it so high on my list is because this is one of the games that I surprised myself by this year that I liked so much, because I, for the longest time, didn't know that I liked roguelikes like this, and I love this game, even though I'm nowhere near like rolling credits. I am also a late bloomer to this one, but I'm having such a good time with everything about this game that I had to rank it where I did, even though I haven't like gotten as far as some other people in our chat and on the panel here. But I obviously, character design incredible, music incredible. I didn't play the first game. I know that's like blasphemy, but
Nah.
you guys said it was okay. So
This one's a
why
lot
not?
better.
And yeah, I have had a really good time with this game, and I get the itch to like pick it up. Like I mentioned in the Discord that this was one of those games where it's like you want to come back from vacation so you can play it because you like miss playing it, and that's how
For
it
sure.
was when I was on vacation at Disney. So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me that one of the reasons this has such staying power for me is that of the like exceeding of expectations. That I played a little bit of early access, like 8 hours ish, and I was like, oh, this feels better in every way already, and they're going to be working on it for a year still. but it was, yeah, how good the gameplay feels, how much more engaging I think the story is. I think the protagonist is a lot more interesting than Zagreus and Hades 1, which isn't something that everyone agrees with. But then, yeah, that just like what Jake said, I think they've culminated with a perfect gameplay loop that every weapon, every aspect of every weapon, with some slight exceptions that I would prefer some to others. But like if I do the randomizer essentially, and it's like you have to do this weapon, this aspect, I'm not going to be like disappointed that I land with any of them. And then on the same beat, like all of the boons working so well together. There are things that I prefer to other like combos of things, but it's just such an incredible I think masterclass in game design that Supergiant has had my trust for a very long time, but this has only elevated them to like S tier developer for me with how good, because this is like potentially, it's certainly in my top 5, maybe like I need more time with it, but potentially my favorite game of all time. So absolutely
Whoa.
adore. So yeah, this is my number
And, like,
1 for the year.
Cue the Jake
just,
GOTY
like-
sequence.
Exactly.
They just
Very
keep
true.
one upping themselves as the game goes too, and like I know that I've talked with you about it, Patrick, but it was already in my top 10. But then I kept playing, and these like more crazy things kept happening. It just kept climbing up and up and up and up until it landed at 4. Like it's just that good.
It's just that good, folks. This game was tied with what landed at our number 2 spot. And the reason that number 2 landed as such is because number 2 was on 5 people's lists instead of 4 people's lists. However, it still only scored 31 points. This is also the highest a game got without being a single person's number 1 game, which might be a spoiler, but I'm about to reveal it anyway. And that number 2 is Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Whoa.
So the highest that this got was Jake's number 2, I believe, or 3.
Wow.
Let's see.
But it was on
I think mine
enough
number
people's
2.
list that
Jake's
it
2,
got where it
yeah,
is.
Jake's 2, my
Dang.
4, Jerica's 5, and then Cog and Kayla's number 6. So Jake, kick to you first for your number 2 game of the year.
I don't know how fondly I'm going to look back on my own list here when I have to decide between Blueprints and Donkey Kong Bonanza, because these two flip-flopped positions so many times. I am so fond of this game, and I booted it up again recently to confirm that I'm correct about how amazing it is, and it's unfucking believable. And it's so easy to get caught up in talking about, now that we've all finished the game, like the story and the interactions between the characters and whatnot. But I think from just a pure gameplay perspective, if you took all of that nostalgia that I have for Donkey Kong and how well they nailed the soundtrack this time, this is a game that does everything at a 10, whether it's gameplay or story or graphics or whatever, however you want to quantify it. I feel very strongly that Donkey Kong Bonanza is perfect, but the gameplay is absolutely incredible. This combination of like destructive environment with traditional platforming is unlike anything that I've ever played, and hopping back into it only reconfirmed my suspicions that this is like a supremely special and unique video game. And I think a lot about the way that I ranked Astrobot, which was my game of the year last year, or second favorite game of the year. And Astrobot takes what you know and perfects that, gives you the most traditional platformer that you could hope for, and they absolutely nail it. Donkey Kong Bonanza reinvents the wheel. No game plays like this, and I think it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I think I was the next highest, with me having it at number 4. For a while, this was my number 2 behind Blueprints until Dispatch and Hades 2 knocked it down a little bit. But yeah, it's like, for me, I've never really cared a ton about Donkey Kong. Like, I like him fine, but the Donkey Kong Country games I enjoyed, but were never like peak for me or even close. Same with DK64 on the N64. So when they unveiled that this was going to be the 3D platformer, I was a little disappointed at first. I was like, I really was hoping to see where they would take Mario next after Odyssey. But egg on my face because this game's fucking immaculate. Had so much fun with it. At some point I want to pick up the DLC. I haven't yet. But yeah, I agree with everything Jake said. It's like this is a 10 across the board, and it's like one of the easiest. If you're gonna get a Switch 2, you get this game. Like it just, unless for some reason you hate fun and joy and good design, then I guess you're not gonna like this game. But yes, I think next highest is Jerica at number 5 with Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I'm not gonna try to. I think both of you summed it up perfectly. Like, it's just I didn't know what to expect, but then I also expected a lot of the same from platformer games. Speaking to Astrobot, like it's one of game that you don't have that often that truly does like do something new in this space. But I don't know, like being able to run around and just be able like you literally destroy anything. Like I had so much, this game's just so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get lost in. And I just didn't expect that from a Donkey Kong game. I did not expect that after seeing the reveal. I wasn't hyped on it after seeing the reveal. Like I was just like, okay, I don't know. Like, and they did a good job, like sort of hiding the fact of what the gameplay was going to be, which is always fun. But when I got in there, I was like, okay, this is definitely different. But yeah, y'all summed it up perfectly. And yeah, I adore this game. It's so good. I never thought I would say I adore Donkey Kong
Sure.
ever again.
Sure. So to recap before
What
we
about
go,
his crystal coconuts?
Oh,
You,
I
you
mean-
still adore those though?
Yeah.
Her Dido moment of the year.
Yeah, I love them. They're the best crystal coconuts I've ever had. Yes.
I love
Even
that.
more than those.
Before we recap up to this point, Cog and Kayla, this is both of your number 6. Either of you want to chime in on anything that we missed or things that are just on your heart about this video game?
It was my number 7, actually.
7? Uh-oh.
Mhm.
Wow.
Did that mess you up? Do you have that in there?
Let's see.
No, it's
'Cause
perfect.
Okay.
Continue on.
Yes.
I
No,
don't
it's just
have
a typo
anything
for me.
super.
It's in the right place in the
Okay.
points.
Okay, cool. I don't have anything super new to add, except I also, like Jerica, have not necessarily like been a huge Donkey Kong fan in the past. I think this would be higher on my list if I had finished it. I haven't actually finished it yet. There's a couple games on my list that haven't completed. But this one's still, because it is unique enough, like I just love a destructive environment. And I think that added a lot to this gameplay, as well as like the endearing like ness of like Rosalina and him as like a combo, I think was really cool. But yeah,
Sorry,
have
who?
this is it Rosalina?
Yeah.
No, Pauline.
No,
It's not
Pauline, no, you're
Rosalina.
right. No, I was so ready to just, I was
get it confused.
right there with you.
It's fine. It's one of
We've
them.
talked about this before. But yeah, I think that this is a game-ass game. Like it's a gamey game. And I think that that's like something really cool. That's what I've enjoyed the most playing on my Switch. I just don't play my Switch enough. I still need to get like in a regular cadence of playing it, and then I'll finally finish it, and it'll probably be higher on my list. So
I double checked. The points are
I think
correct.
it's like
31
pure
points.
joy just distilled into a shot in the arm. Like it's just so much fun to play. For like every single moment is a joy. And with those destructible environments and that main character, you can just safely call it Red Faction Gorilla. So that's all I got to say about that.
Easy. Ba-boom. So it's probably pretty obvious now what our number 1 is, but in terms of the point differential up until this point, so we had 12 for 9 and 10, 16 for 8, 17 for 7, 18 for 6. These are points. 25 for 5, 27 for 4, 31 for 2 and 3, 38 points for our game of the year, Expedition 33. This was on only 4 people's lists though. But 3 of those were a number
Wow.
1 and 1 was a number 3. So the how high it was on lists ultimately overtook Donkey Kong being on more lists by 7 whole points. So pretty big.
Jeez.
One of the bigger jumps in there. So actually, I'd like to start with Kamen, just because Kamen's not chimed in a bunch, but it also was Kamen's number 1.
Wow.
So yeah, Kamen, your number 1 game of the year, Expedition 33.
So one thing that I always say when it comes down to game of the year is it's going to be distilled into 2 separate questions. Did it absolutely master the genre that it's in, or did it create something that we've never seen before? Expedition 33 does neither of those things. However, what it does is it combines both of those into something very interesting. While it doesn't necessarily master the turn-based RPG, I definitely think something like Persona is the like the pinnacle of or the peak of that. And I don't think this necessarily reinvented the wheel, combining this weird abstract narrative of this like French apocalypse set in a sci-fi world and do it turn-based and also make it like extremely narrative driven is such a unique thing that like it is different. Maybe not the wildest thing, but it's different. And I think it's clean and it's polished. I think there's definitely something to say about the fact that it was made with such a small dev team. Um, there might be some grievances there, here and there, things like having no map, which I will stand by the fact that I'm going to go and point this out right now. That the whole purpose of the game is that you're supposed to be charting this area. So all of these expeditions
man.
that came
My
before you,
man.
none of them wrote a fucking map.
My
None of
man.
them made a map. None
They
of them.
died.
W came in,
They
W
did
came in,
it.
W came in, W
They
came in,
did
W
it.
came in, base, 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 base.
I'm sorry. How the fuck did we get? How is there no? I digress. Is this the number one game of the year for me? Yes, it is. It's just I don't know. It's when I went back, I looked. I was really, really critical and harsh between like looking at my number one, number two, and number three of like where this was gonna fall. And I don't know. I think I just kind of walked away being like, of all of the games I played this year, this is the one game I will remember next year.
Sure.
Like,
Mm,
and probably will be the game I remember 2 to 3 years down the line as well. And as much as I love Yote, and as much as I love Power Wash Simulator 2, I just think Clair Obscure it's the one I'll remember. I think it's the one most people will remember as well. So I stood by my choice.
Stand by your man. Kayla, also your number one.
yes. And I think that like for me, this is something that is like genre defining for me because like I am still like relatively new to like the turn-based like genre in general is something that I had initially like wrote off for myself as something I didn't enjoy. And Sea of Stars actually, not to make this a Sea of Stars podcast, but it is actually what initially like piqued my interest as like, oh, I can actually like this type of game. But Expedition 33 absolutely blew that out of the water for me with its like narrative experience, like Kamen mentioned, and combined with like, its gameplay elements that are like difficult but rewarding, in my opinion. And I just remember like my jaw being on the floor. Like I know like it can be argued like some of the like twists are predictable, but to me it just wasn't personally.
Sure.
And so I think I just it hit me the right way to have me like wowed from like multiple different moments throughout the game. And I just to me this game was like I know this is so dramatic, but like generational in my opinion is this game and like it really I think about it often like how the narrative like made me feel. I just feel like like it has a lot of different like mental health aspects in my opinion and like the way that it presents
Yes.
like grief I think is very interesting and like the way that it explores it is very cool. So yeah, this is my number one because I loved it for all those different reasons. Like I really enjoyed the gameplay. The music is something like I just have like ambient sound of like the music in my house because I enjoy it so much. The voice acting, the performance, the animation, like everything about it, I just adored. That's why it's my number one.
Surprisingly not on Cog's list, but it was Jake's number one, which I was pretty surprised by. No, this was
What
number
else
one for Jordan.
list was
as
it not
well.
on? Is it Jerica?
It was on Jerica's, but it wasn't on me and your list, Jake.
It wasn't
Okay.
in your top 10 games?
No, I have it at like number 19 maybe for the year for me.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Respectfully, of course. It's just,
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But Jordan, you're number one. Which
Yeah, and pretty much what,
everyone saw coming.
Of course.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's whatever, it's what came in and Kayla have already said. It's what I've already said like 17 times on content. That really just hit on all fronts for me, like the gameplay, the music, the characters, the story, just so deeply affecting with how it explores grief and how people deal with it or don't. The characters that I'll think about for the rest of my life. I mean, this is, I tried to, fight against the recency bias. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. YouTube.com/@cognitiveClips. I tried to, fight against that and sit with it for a bit before I really tried to look into my own all-timer kind of list, but I mean, having played through it twice all the way through, already contemplating a third, and have it knocked Citizen Sleeper 2 off, that was my number one for like 3 straight months until this game came out, and now it's been 8 more months since then. It's like my number 3 game of all time.
Nice.
Like that's where it sits. Because it just meant a lot to me for all those reasons. So number 1 for the year with a bullet.
With a bullet.
One
Bang,
thing
bang.
for me really quick, I think one thing that also added to the experience for me is I didn't know anything about this game before I played it. Like I hadn't seen nothing. Like I don't even remember. I think it was Cog that I saw first like mention it. I knew nothing about it going into it. I think that added to the positive experience for me too.
Well, I think in a lot of ways that happened with most of the industry.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll say this to that point, because like I was like, what am I going to say about this game? I haven't said already, but after your share, Kayla, it sort of made me think, and then Kamen, you started talking about like, is it, I don't know what you said, but is it something like, is it something we've never seen before? And it's not, but the way it combines a lot of things is, but I do think the story in itself and the tone and the type of world you're in does make it like genre defining because Kayla, this is the first type of turn-based RPG I feel like you've ever played.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people gravitated to that. Like I heard more people talking about this game all year in a space where there's not a lot of gamers, but people that occasionally play games. Like I heard people in other friend groups talk about this game. It was the first type of turn-based RPG they've ever played. Yeah. And it was because it was a little bit more, I guess the tone and the story behind it was a little bit more, even though it's a little not on the nose a lot. It does keep you you're trying to figure out what's happening, but yeah. I don't know. I think the art style and the story trailers really brought in a whole other audience where I think you can reassess like what this type of genre can be now. It doesn't have to be tied to a specific type of storyline, which I think a lot of RPGs do. So it was just cool to see a different type of story, a really French story. It was just cool. That's what made it cool. And it made it feel fresh. And I think that had a lot to help with it too. I just really haven't thought about it like that. Like I had more people playing this than ever, like with Persona. But I love Persona. Like I like Persona more, just to clarify, but like I've never heard people talk about Persona like they do this game.
Yeah.
And like some of my other gamer groups.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Something that Jake and Kamen can attest to is that one thing that people kind of spoke highly about for this game is that it kind of gets to the action quicker than a lot of other JRPGs do. I mean, I was just talking in the Discord. I'm really enjoying my time with Trails in the Sky first chapter. I'm about 7.5 hours in. I'm still in the prologue. Yeah. Like 7.5 hours into Expedition 33, you're approaching the end of Act 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I think the fact that it kind of like gets the ball rolling, brought people in to the genre that maybe they would have sidestepped it. And I really do hope that they try these other games because they like this game. Because, again, the Persona games, Metaphor, the Final Fantasy series, all these games that they were inspired by, and they wear that on their sleeve. They're not acting like they're the creators of anything really, like this genre is specific. They're calling out the creators of these other franchises and their acceptance speeches for the million awards. So I hope that this does open the door for a lot of people to try other games that may have shied away from because of just feeling too intimidated by it.
Yeah.
I wish Pokemon would pay attention. Fuck, I finally played that. By the way, it's not great. Zaw is fine. Sorry. It made me so mad. I was getting so excited. They almost had me. And I was like, that better not be on anyone's list.
Yeah. It was on 2 lists.
It was on mine. Thank you very much.
That's the only game, the only other game that was on multiple lists that didn't make the top 10. Everything else didn't make it because it was only on one list, which I'll get to in a second. But Squanky said something very funny in the chat. He said, make Jake say something nice about the game, and he has to keep saying it over and over until it's sincere, and we all agree.
Jake?
Jake!
I love that we get to hear so much about it.
One more time. One more time.
I think it really introduces a lot of new concepts.
Very good.
One more time. I don't feel sincere.
I don't
sincerity
feel
from
sincere.
that, Jake.
Nope.
One more time.
Love
Talk about
this.
talk
You gotta
about
like the
Housekeeping
music at least.
What about the
The
shorties?
main character that looks like Robert Pattinson is a very attractive man.
Yeah, that's
Okay, that's
Wow.
sincere.
Yes, yes,
That
yes.
was
That's sincere
sincere.
for sure.
Yes, 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 yes,
Thank
yes,
you
yes,
all.
yes, 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 yes.
Something, because I wasn't as hot of this game, but something that excites me about this game moving forward is that when we saw it, it looked fucking cool. But I think a lot of people were like, but it's not gonna be an all-timer. And then for most people it was. That has me excited that when we see games being revealed that look fucking cool as shit, that maybe it's real. Because it was real with Expedition 33. Because you know
What,
what I
are we
mean? Like that
talking about
happens so often where it's like they
Crimson
show
Desert?
Yes.
Yes, Crimson Desert is a
33
great example.
Keeping Hope Alive, 2026.
Keeping Hope Alive, 2026.
Right. Because if not,
Oh, wait, hold on.
What's
What
the
day
point?
is it?
January 1st,
January
famously.
1st.
Oh, I've already lost it. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Damn, RP.
Shit.
Well,
Pretty quick.
I dipped my
Just
toe
before recording.
into some fun facts, honorable mentions type thing. So, our last two on the list, Citizen Sleeper and Silent Hill F, had 12 points. Right behind that was Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. That was COG's number 3 for the year. And then the next 4 games were also only on one list. It was Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 on Kamen's, Luminous Arise on Jake's, Silksong on Jerica's, and Tiny Bookshop on Kayla's. Tiny Bookshop was on my list for a long time, but it wasn't high enough to have been able to get it into the top 10. It would have just been above Metroid Prime on the honorable mentions section, but yeah, those 4 all had 7 points. In terms of some other fun things, I compared to last year's lists. So last year's list, we had 39 games submitted, and 25 of them were only on one person's list. So that's what 14
Whoa.
games were on multiple lists. This year, we had 37 games submitted, but only 11 of them were on multiple lists. So 26 games
Whoa.
were unique across our lists. And that breakdown, so last year we had Kayla with 8 unique games. This time she had 4. So me, Jerica, sorry. Kayla, Jerica, and COG all had only 4 games not in the top 10. Or sorry, 4 games that weren't on other lists. And then I had only 2 games, my 9 and 10, Fantasy Life, I, The Girl Who Steals Time, and The Seance at Blake Manor were my only 2 unique games. And then Jake and Kamen tied for the most with 6 unique games, which we'll go through those lists here shortly. But I thought that was interesting that last year it was such a big like margin with Kayla's list compared to everyone else's. You fucking better be. The game on the most people's list, as we went through during the show, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Last year, 5 lists got Astrobot the number 1 slot, but this year Donkey Kong Bonanza only got it to number 2. And then the most number 1 votes obviously was Expedition 33. Otherwise, there was not a single duplicative number 1. The other ones were Blueprints, Hades 2, and Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, while the rest were all Expedition 33. And I'm sure if Josh had been here and then had his list counted, it would have been 4 for Expedition 33. I'm almost certain.
No, the coin pusher raccoon game would probably be his number 1.
Oh, fair.
I had to bet for him.
There were 5 games with only 1 point. So 5 of our 6 lists are that number 10 slot was not on anybody else's. That was Keep Driving for Jerica, Mega Bonk for Kamen, Metal Gear Solid 3 for Jake, The Seance at Blake Manor for me, and 2 Point Museum for Kayla. COG's number 10, Pokemon, was on another list, so that it had more than 1 point. And then we also had, let's see, the lowest on our top 10 to still get a number 1 was Death Stranding 2. And then the games with the fewest, Citizen Sleeper and Silent Hill F. And the highest game that was only on only one list ended up not making the cut. For a minute, Metroid Prime 4 was in the top 10. But then we got whoever list I got last. I think maybe it was Kayla's with Silent Hill. Bumped that up above to have 2 in that.
Hold on, question. Slot. COG, is Kayla still your favorite member of Dido after this? Knowing that she bumped Metroid Prime out of the top 10.
The thing is, Kamen, I don't need validation to enjoy my games, brother.
Whoa.
You know, I just enjoy them.
Damn.
Well, I do, so we're in an impasse.
There we go.
Well, I love you, so that's all the validation you should need tonight.
Oh.
get the
Last
best, bro.
year,
You're still not the favorite.
the highest a game got without a number one was Animal at number 4, but this time Donkey Kong at number 2. No, not a single number 1, but it got all the way up to number 2. So yeah, those are some
7
fun
out of 10,
facts
darling.
about the list. All sorts of some goodies in there. So why don't we go through and unveil our own top 10 lists? Let's start with Jake and Kamen. Jake first, since you guys had the fewest games in the top 10.
Time for me to read the 80 games that I'm not going to do it to you guys this year. But I would love to talk a little bit about some of the ones that I'm really surprised that were in my list that didn't make it. And so nobody else had Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta in their top 10?
It was close to my top 10, but it didn't crack the top 10, and it's the kind of thing where I think if I'm being real, it probably should have been in my top 10. But I don't know what's different about that game compared to Resident Evil 4, which I had very high in my top 10, that for some reason I just didn't feel compelled to put it in my top 10 this year, even though it's in my top 100 now because I finally played Snake Eater. Fucking incredible game.
This is going to sound very weird, but this is like a different podcast to reconcile what to do with remakes and remasters and stuff like that. But Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, I gave like an honorary 10th spot because it felt wrong slamming it so far up my list that it was my game of the year. But I think in the next couple days, when I go through to add like Blueprints and Donkey Kong Bonanza and Hades 2 to my favorite games of all time, I think Metal Gear Solid 3 gets put higher than all of those. In a lot of ways, that is my game of the year, but it feels wrong to crown a game that is, 2005's best game. My game of the year 2025. So I really, really love Metal Gear. My 10th spot. Number 9 was Keeper. 8 was Legend ZA. 7 was Venus Vacation Prism. What's wrong with you guys? You could have imported a copy. Number 6 was Avowed, which I liked way more than I ever expected to. Number 5, the last place where I'm gonna grandstand a little bit. I need to beg of you all something this year, 2026. Every single year, Digital Eclipse is releasing the coolest video games that exist, that are not only playable collections of absolute classics, but are documentaries about games for people that absolutely adore games, which is all of you. And even if you're not into Mortal Kombat, or you're not into Tetris, or you're not into Jeff Minter games or Karateka, please join me in playing their next collection of the Gold Master series, because it is such cool stuff for our industry. And I think I would love to see it just fucking crack that top 10 with just 1 or 2 of you hopping on next year. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, my 5th favorite game of the year. Just an awesome like 6 to 8 hour experience if you just want to sit there, dabble in some games, and then watch the documentary. Number 4, Luminous Arise. Number 3, Hades 2. Number 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Number 1, Blueprints.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Luminous was one of those. It didn't get super close to my top 10, but there was a conversation in my mind about Luminous. But I don't know that anyone else here played Luminous Arise this year. Kamen, you're next up. Your top 10 for 2025.
All right, perfect. Okay. So number 10 is, as previously mentioned, Mega Bonk. Number 9, Split Fiction. I'm kind of shocked it didn't show up in anyone else's 9 or 10 spot, because it's a total 9 or 10 spot game for me. Number 8, and this is a travesty here, because I definitely think my list is fucked and should be adjusted accordingly, but we can't fix it now. And that would be Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza. Holy fuck, guys. That game absolutely fucking rips. I was about halfway through the game when I made my list, and I was like, easy number 8 right now. Oh god, I think this game is so much higher. Everyone go play Pirate Yakuza. You don't need to do anything. Just fucking play that game. You don't need to play any of the other ones. It's a perfect video game. Number 7, Borderlands 4. Number 6, Dispatch. Number 5, I went with Peak. I think Peak is an absolutely underrated gem. It is a great fucking video game, and I think not showing up on many lists is kind of a travesty. Definitely being slept on, I think, from that regard. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 as my number 4 game. 100% stand by the fact that this game could easily be number 1, like any other year but this year. Number 3, Power Wash Simulator 2. Number 2, Ghost of Yote. And number 1, Expedition 33, Clear Obscure.
I think if I had
W
played
list.
Peak, I could have seen that in my list for sure. I just still haven't played it yet. But I
I
hear
still
it's
haven't
very good.
either.
The
Really
I
fact
was
that you
surprised.
guys, it's like the perfect game for
Late
this
bloomer
this
stream.
group of knuckleheads.
Oh, for sure. And I was surprised to kick to Jerica for her top 10. I was surprised that Jerica Peak didn't make your list because I thought you really liked Peak.
I did, but I liked other games more.
Fair.
Wow.
You're gonna play a lot of
More?
games this year.
You like Death Stranding 2 Life's a Beach more?
Abso-fucking-lutely is so good.
Yeah.
I need to go back. I want to go back and get the platinum for that game. Let me pull up my list because I just had it, then I lost it. Death Stranding 2 on the beach, number 1. Power Wash Simulator 2. Clair Obscur. Hollow Knight Silk Song was number 4 for me.
Wow.
Get the fuck out. I'm so tired of the hate here. I can't even talk about it because it just gets hate
You
on
can talk
so
about
much.
it.
And
What do you like?
I didn't
about it?
realize you've been
Now
playing
is
it. I thought it was
the
just
moment
Audrey.
where you can talk about it.
here's the deal. I just want to say, like, y'all know me, people in the chat. You know how I just struggle with life. I can't even get a computer to turn on sometimes. Like, I don't fucking know, but I can play Silksong. Anybody can play it. That's all I'm going to say. Anyone can play it.
Okay.
It is challenging. Have I beaten it? No. But I got a lot further than I thought. And I really think I could have beaten it if I just stuck with it. But it was just going to take me a long time.
I just didn't
But I
wanna
have
play it.
thoroughly, I was thoroughly just enjoying watching my girlfriend play, and I did get to see like how the game evolves as you go, and it does some really cool stuff. I didn't get hooked on Hollow Knight at the time. I even tried going back to it. I don't know. I think for me, like Hornet's like quickness and reaction and being able to jump around and all the abilities that Hornet gets is so fun. It's so cool. The story is awesome. Yeah, it was just a really, I have it so high on my list because I never thought it would be on my list at all because I just didn't think I could handle it. And it's sort of cool to say I can handle it. And it gave me a lot of, I don't know, it made me feel good about myself as a gamer. Once in a while, I need
Hell
that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wish there was difficulty options still. Like, that's how I feel with
Yeah.
Elden Ring. I still feel that because I want to be a part of the know in Elden Ring. I'm in it's the same boat. I'm lucky my girlfriend's really good at Silksong, so I'm able to like see the story through her.
Sure.
But yeah, it's on number 4 for a reason for me. Number
Real quick, Jerica, it ended up at like my number 16. You know, like there was a whole like 14 plus games underneath it that you know I didn't like nearly as much, and it does a lot of things really well. It just felt a lot of times that it wasn't challenging in the way that I want to engage with. It was more difficult for the sake of being more difficult, and no other reason beyond that.
Not
especially compared
necessarily.
to
Let
the
me take you through it. Let me take you on a run through Silksong. Let me
Okay.
show me where you're getting.
I played and adored the original Hollow Knight, and that game, like, it felt more natural the way that the difficulty increased, and not just like smacking you down like to the Earth's core in the third hallway you come across. You know what I mean? So like, there were just things like I put a solid 20 hours into it, and I just hit a wall at some point. But what I played, like, it's a well made game. No one can say it's ugly. You know,
Well, let me tell you
no one
something,
on this page
brother.
can say that.
That's what they say about a lot of babies, I think. Paulina. Number 6 on my list was Dispatch, for obvious reasons we talked about already. Number 7, Ghost of Yotei. Number 8, Absalom was probably my most surprising game on the list, other than Keep Driving. And this game has been really special to me too, because I've already shared. Me and Audrey like love playing roguelike games. Like, we love the genre. Like, Destiny implements some modes that we get to sort of enjoy those types of games together, like playing side by side. Absalom does that too in a like a couch co-op situation. I think the only way you play that is couch co-op with someone, or just, you know, if you can multiplayer, like play with someone. Don't play by yourself. But like, it's just a, you know, side-scrolling beat 'em up. Like, it was really, I have not played a game like that since like playing Ninja Turtles for real. Like, so getting back to that kind of style game was a little jarring at first, but like the art style is really unique. I love the animation, the characters, but all the like abilities that you get every run that you're going through, and you're just getting a little closer and getting more unlocks, more abilities for your characters. But doing that side by side with Audrey has been so fucking fun. and us like deciding which route to take, us trying to decide like who gets this ability, because we don't share, we don't both get it to upgrade our abilities. We have to pick. So we were like going off each other's strengths when we're playing together, because you get currency, but it's shared currency. So we got to figure out together how we want to level up our respective characters. And all 4 characters have really unique ways of playing, like gameplay styles. So this game's awesome. Like, I can't wait to see what they do with it. Like, you haven't played, you should play. I want to play with somebody. What's funny?
We have a first time chatter. Polar
welcome.
Knights
First of all,
says, welcome. Polar Knights says, as a barber, I love the men on this show. It is every stage of beard growth. And so that just bits galore have been happening in the chat since Polar joined. And it escalated to Jake bringing that picture into his view.
Jesus.
Yeah.
We've lost Kayla. Sorry.
But Polar Knights, I would like for you to rank the beards, please, if you're still here. If we didn't convince you to leave with our shenanigans.
Number 9 was Octopath Traveler 0, and then number 10, rounding out, was Keep Driving.
Nice.
Hell yeah, Octopath on there. Sick.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you even played Octopath, Jerica. I'm about to start that probably this week. I'm so excited.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. It's also very good.
But USA.
Can't wait.
Incoming.
Kayla with 6 games in the top 10 this year. Round of applause for Kayla. Kayla, go through your list for us.
All right. I have more games on other people's lists this year. I'm so happy. Starting at number 10, I'm upset that Patrick doesn't have our first premiere co-stream together, 2 Point Museum, in his list at all. Very sad. Very ill, I fear. But I love 2 Point Museum. I love that what they've been doing for the community. Like, they've done a ton of updates since they launched, like really cool like collabs they've done. They did a Dredge collab, which is super cool. They did like this fantasy thing. Like, I love everything they've been doing. And it's just a really fun game. It's so wacky and goofy. Jake, they did a Sonic collab. You're not trying to have that on your list? Come on, man.
I know. It's so good.
I know that's not this isn't the type of game that typically people put on their list, because it's not like a mainline, like traditional story game, but I feel like the gameplay, in my opinion, in this game is so much fun, and that's why it's on my list. I had to get an honorable 10 mention.
Sure.
I went back and forth a lot with my list. My number 9, Blueprints, which I already talked about kind of why it falls in that position on my list. Number 8 is one I put on here as a heart pick, and because I feel like more people need to play this game, and it's Slots and Daggers, which is a like mini roguelike inside like a slot machine game, where essentially you have like different powers, different like abilities that you can add into your slot machine to beat these bosses as you go. And again, it looks very like grunge, like 90s theme. You're quite literally like sitting, it's kind of like Inscription in a way, where you're like sitting at a desk playing the slot machine, and you have like different like coins that spit out. It's super fun and very inexpensive on Steam. It's also made by like a solo developer, which I think is really cool. So that's my number 8. Number 7, Donkey Kong Bonanza, for reasons we already discussed. Number 6, and I feel like unfortunately this one kind of like bit the bullet, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. I still really liked this game. I know it had its problems, and like we talked about it on Spotlight Games a lot. We did like a whole spoiler cast there. I get why it's not everyone's like cup of tea, but I really loved so much about it. Like, there's some things I think could have been done better, but enough of it like hit me in my feels that it had to be like in the mid on my list. Patrick, did this one even like crack your top like 20? Do you feel, did it make your...
Let's see. It's the kind of thing where it's like, that is a game in a less good year, I think it would have ranked a lot higher. But you know, it's pretty low. It's like it's in my mid 20s. I wish I still was, but
gotcha.
Yeah.
My number 6. My number 5, Hades 2, which we talked about. Number 4, Tiny Bookshop. This one, it's just such, it makes me feel so many good feelings playing this game. Like, as someone who is a book lover, and I'm not about to go on a tangent, but like reading books and being like a book nerd is something that like is fine now in my like late adulthood, but as a kid I was like made fun of for it, and like it wasn't like a cool thing to like love books. So being able to play a game in my like late 20s that is like fun for other people to play, that honors like books in this way, is really cool, and has so many like real life book examples. and like getting to make personalized recommendations, getting to like have this cutesy little story with these wacky characters, getting to decorate your little book van is so much fun. Only L for me, like recently, is when I did get my new PC, apparently cloud save doesn't work on this game, so I lost all my progress, which is really sad. Because I didn't
Lost
do like a
progress,
backup.
blooming rage, you know?
I know, yeah, for real. But that's okay. There was also a new update recently that I really want to try. But yeah, so that one made my number 4 just because of all of those reasons that I mentioned. I think it's a really cool and unique game that I think if you like cozy games, you should definitely try. And then my number 3, Silent Hill F. My number 2, Dispatch. And my number 1, Expedition 33. So look at
W,
me,
I
a
fear.
mainstream gamer.
Mainstream. You're
Girl,
so
look at you.
mainstream, Kayla. I'll go to mine and then we'll end with Cogs. I did Hades 2 at number 1, Blueprints number 2, Dispatch number 3, Donkey Kong Bonanza number 4, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach number 5, Ghost of Yotei number 6, Silent Hill F number 7, Citizen Sleeper 2 number 8, and then my 2 that didn't make anybody else's list or the top 10. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, which I think is just like such a fucking bundle of joy. I just had so much fun playing that game, and it's the kind of thing where like there's a lot that game could do better. I think the story is like so non-existent, it's boring, but I just had a really good time with it. So that is kind of an honorable mention pick. And then my number 10, The Seance at Blake Manor. I think there is a world in like 2 months where that is top 3 for 2025 for me. I just didn't get enough time with it, but I've put like 2 or 3 hours into it so far and already adore it. I couldn't put it higher than that, but I wanted it to be in my top 10, which it unseated Tiny Bookshop at number 10. Because
that one's in my top 20. Yeah, I really enjoyed what I've played of that so far. I've also only played a few hours, maybe 2, maybe. So
but it's the kind of thing like I've already stumbled into some really cool shit, and it's like, but it has to stick the landing. If it doesn't stick the landing, then that, so that's why I didn't want to put it higher on only a few hours. And then Cog, your top 10.
Yes. So I sent one list over to Josh that had Mario Kart at number 10.
Nice.
And then my Blueprint streak came through and it kicked Mario Kart World off of it. So the new list ended up being number 10, Legend ZA, number 9. Kind of like what Jake was saying with remakes. I was like, do I put a hefty DLC in here or not? But I did. It was Sea of Stars, Throws of the Watchmaker at number 9. Number 8, Sword of the Sea. Kind of surprised it didn't make anybody else's top 10 because it was a joyful little 5-hour romp there. Number 7, Blueprints. Thing up to number 6 was Donkey Kong Bonanza. Number 5, Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Game absolutely rips. Like fires on all cylinders. Kind of like Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's like you want to sit there and try to think about why would I not give this a 10 and you just come up empty. That's kind of how Shinobi is for like action platformer kind of stuff going on for it. Number 4, Hades 2. Number 3, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. One of those where like my heart probably puts it a little bit higher than what other people would have. It, despite its it's got some flaws. It's not my favorite of the series by any stretch, but it is still for me an absolute joy to play. I played it twice like back to back, and I'm still hopping in and doing a third file already, and it's been less than a month. So if that tells you anything. Number 2 is Sleeper 2, and number 1, Clair Obscur.
Hell yeah. Jordan, you and I had a little backdoor deal, a little secret handshake, as it were. For those of you that are in the
different
Discord,
backdoor deal than we usually have, but yes.
right? Yeah. Typically, I'm actually not going to finish that sentence. If you follow the Discord, if you're in the Discord, you've been seeing a lot of updates about Fantasy Critic, which Fantasy Critic will return in 2026. We're just still finding a date to do that, but it'll probably be in February. But it has gotten so close with Fantasy Critic between me and Cog. At the current standing is 144.42 points for Cog to my 144.03. Now, our little backdoor handshake was because Cog was losing a lot of ground. I think he was maybe shaking in his boots a little bit. I don't want to speak for him, but we had said, however,
still won.
Well, so that's I am seceding to you, but we had made a little deal if more games on one of our lists was in our collective top 10 on our Fantasy Critic lists, then that person would win. If we were within, I think we said half a point. Is that what we said,
yeah.
Cog? Which we did end up saying. However, and it was like 0.39. But the system called it once the clock struck midnight. So Cog did win Fantasy Critic by a margin of 0.39, even though I had 3 games to his 1 in our top 10 on my Fantasy Critic team. It feels wrong to say that I won through that backdoor handshake deal win. The number says that Cog won. So handshake to you, Cog. Congratulations on winning Fantasy Critic for 2025. If only I had thought to counterpick Resident Evil 9, and then it was just out there for Kayla to take when I fucking did Pokemon instead. Bullshit.
Not the Pokemon.
But yeah, so keep an eye out in the Discord. We'll announce that. We'll probably also talk about it on a show here, but in the Discord, we will definitely let you guys know when Fantasy Critic will return. And Josh will be playing this year as well, now that he is in the group, which is going to be very fun. And then also, if you weren't here at the top of the show, we announced that we are doing an in-person weekend-long stream event at the end of January. We're all piling into Josh's home, and we're going to be streaming not the full 72 hours, but a lot of those 72 hours we are going to be streaming, which is going to be very fun. So definitely put that in your calendars. The 30th of January will be our first day. We're going to do Friday, Saturday, and then some of Sunday probably of streams there. Before we go home, anybody have anything final to say about our top 10 for Drop In, Drop Out? Should I go back through it one more time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 1, Clear Obscure Expedition 33. Number 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Number 3, Hades 2. Number 4, Dispatch. Number 5, Blueprints. Number 6, Ghost of Yotei. Number 7, Power Wash Simulator 2. Number 8, Death Stranding 2, On the Beach. Number 9, Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward, Vector. And number 10, Silent Hill F. Congratulations to all of those games for the coveted Drop In, Drop Out top 10 games of 2025. Any final thoughts from y'all? Thanks for being here. This was a lot of fun.
Great list. Really good list.
Great
I
list.
agree.
If you didn't get into any of these, you should try them this next year.
W.
2026 may even be more of a banger than this year.
Maybe.
Who's to
It
say?
will be. ETA.
GTA. Grand Theft Auto. Ever heard of it?
No.
24-hour GTA stream win.
Exactly. All right, y'all. We will be back in the very, very near future with more content here at Drop and Drop Out. But go to dropinddropoutpod.com, join the Discord, follow us in all the places so that you know what we're doing, when we're doing it, and where we are doing it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'm going to, at some point, find, there it is. There's the button for the opening. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.